Hi, my name is Don Randall, and I'm happy to be here to talk to you about HPE GreenLake. First, thank you so much to the SUSE team for inviting us to do this. We're happy to be part of such a great conference as SUSECON. So our point of view is that really customers use different operating models, obviously on-premises, hosted, public cloud, MSPs, etc., really to achieve business results. But it's really important to get the most out of what you're trying to do, to think modern. And so the goal is to connect and activate all your data so that you can deliver rich experiences to customers in thousands of billions of moments, to accelerate decision velocity and cut through some of the lethargy and leapfrog the competition, and really to see around corners for new discoveries, new insights into how you can improve and how you can take big jumps in your business. But there are barriers. Business workloads really need that agility and scalability that the public cloud brings. They need the predictable cost, but they need to align that cost to business results so that they're not spending way more than they need to, but they've got enough to deliver on what they promised to do. We find that business data is trapped often in silos, legacy systems, and it really eliminates the ability to bring together data to get the kind of insights you really need. And we find that it is really a complex world. Multi-cloud, hybrid IT, different technologies, all have their own operating processes, procedures, and tools, and all that complexity increases the cost, risk, and slows down profitability for our customers. One option, cloud operating model, is awesome. It gives you the speed and the agility that customers need to drive digital business. Unfortunately, the reality is that due to things like data gravity, latency, application dependency, compliance issues, security issues, we find that only 70%, only 30% of the apps and data are in the public cloud. The 70% of apps and data remain outside the public cloud. Our point of view is be cloud smart. Get the cloud experience for the apps and data everywhere, sometimes public, sometimes private, but get that one experience so that you can really modernize and achieve the results you need. The way that we do that is HPE GreenLake. HPE GreenLake is an offer from HPE, and it is a set of cloud services. We call it the cloud that comes to you. It's good in your edges, co-locations, data centers, and we do work on the public cloud. So we provide the infrastructure or platforms or business applications that you need to run where you need to run it, where it's appropriate. Some apps are great to run in the cloud, some are not. The cloud wasn't built for everything. The components that we offer, kind of standard cloud things that you would expect: self-service, pay-per-use, scale up and down, managed for you. Those are the criteria by which something is called a cloud service, and that's what HPE GreenLake delivers. So you can expect from HPE GreenLake to do as much or as little work as you do with a public cloud service, but to have the flexibility to do things again in your edges, co-locations, or data centers, or manage everything together as a cloud service. We offer 17 different categories of cloud services. There are 50 or 60 cloud services underneath these different categories. And as you can see, some of these are fairly infrastructure focused: compute, networking, storage. You'd expect that. We layer on top platformy kinds of things, virtualization, containers, and then we can offer up the level, maybe at a data management level, databases, data fabric, and then applications or analytics tools that really complete the story. So depending on how much you want us to do, or whether you have a specific environment, a specific workload in mind, we're ready. If you want to do something on the edge, we have the right appropriate systems to put on the edge and manage through HPE GreenLake. If you're into high performance computing, well, good news. HPE is the world leader in high performance computing, and that kind of technology can be available as a service for you through HPE GreenLake. If you're an SAP customer, we know what that means. We've got the expertise, we've got the capabilities not only to implement and migrate to S4, but to help you operate, optimize, and be performant in the way that SAP requires you to be through HPE GreenLake. Complemented by migration services to get from where you are to where you need to be, transformational services to design the whole idea and then hit your business goals by getting a transformation project underway. And then things like security, risk, and compliance, management services. There's quite a bit of work that we can do for you that's in these 17 categories. And I'll note that most of the services that we send out that include infrastructure are powered by the SUSE secure operating system. So we have a close relationship with SUSE. This has been an exciting time, and it's only going to get better. I would encourage you to come to HPE Discover at the end of June in Las Vegas and see what we have to offer. There'll be some new announcements and some exciting developments that we want to share with you. This is kind of how we portray what HPE GreenLake is from a stack point of view. Starting with the HPE GreenLake Cloud Platform, go to hpe.com and log in, and you'll be able to see all of your IT and manage it. You go into Cloud Services, and you'll hit the HPE GreenLake services, networking, compute storage, data management, as I talked about, workload orchestration, whether you need bare metal, VMs, containers, and then layering on top not only analytics, AI, and machine learning, but your own apps or things like SAP that really build on the whole stack and offer the complete value to you. Obviously, security and compliance baked in, and we have to offer our advisory services on a number of different topics to get you optimized from the start, or even to choose what's good to go in the public cloud, what's good to stay on premises. And obviously managed services, we manage as much as you'd like us to manage. Financial services could be important to you so you can monetize what you have today so you can make the transition to a cloud architecture and finance that transition well. This is the experience our customers have. So we call it GreenLake Central. It's the place where you go to get all of your information, things like your capacity information, your cost information, real time. What am I spending on all my different resources? How do I pick the right things? And the controls for security, risk, and compliance. How do I get an idea of how I'm doing? And then if you're into the container service or the VM service, developers and users can actually spin up their own VMs or container clusters without IT involvement and go to work, which really shortens the time for development and it lightens the load on IT. All of this from HPE GreenLake Central. Now, when we say managed for you, what we do is we have infrastructure or a platform in process, and we perform all these functions. We can deploy, provision, monitor, update the firmware, scale the capacity. We do hands-on active capacity management with you so that you'll never run out, but we'll always provide a little extra capacity on site, on the floor, so that if you need to grow with an unplanned project or a new user community, just say yes. You don't have to wait to order more, to bring it in-house, set it up, and get it provisioned. Just start with what you've already got on the floor, and we plan the capacity to keep you ahead of what you're using, so you should never run out. Give you an SLA. We do the remedial work, obviously, and then we do any upgrades and such. We can take this all the way to full management, whatever fits the model that you operate with, and all of this, again, against all of those different workloads or cloud services that we talked about earlier. And it's all in a pay-per-use environment. We do the metering of your infrastructure, metering of your software, and we'll charge you monthly based on what you used. If you use more, you pay more. If you use less, you pay less. So what does this really mean? First thing is it's more important to get time to value than anything else because you're ready to go and start your projects whenever your projects are ready. Forrester found Forrester Consulting found that the time to market was shortened by about 75% to deploy projects. Because of our managed services, we reduced the risk of unplanned downtime. And the TCO savings comes primarily from the elimination of over-provisioning. Much like the public cloud, you don't need extra capacity that you're not paying for, or that you're paying for sitting idle in case you might grow or in case you might need it. We give you that extra capacity, but you pay for what you use. So when you start to use it, you pay, saving you 30 to 40% just from the over-provisioning. And we increase IT team productivity just because we're able to do very efficiently and in an automated way all of our support and management tasks on your behalf, and free up IT staff to do really productive work. When we think about data first modernization, you might think in these different buckets. So there might be an edge app you need to roll out. You might be wondering how to get to the cloud, how to deliver digital experiences faster, or you might be more concerned about how to work with your data. And we really apply these HPE GreenLake cloud services to each of these instances, depending on where you're coming from. So if you're at the edge, often this is a very specific requirement. You need to reduce defects in a factory line. You need to run seamless operations, or maybe your employees are dispersed and working from some other location than the office. And so all of that becomes a matter of connecting the people, the products, and the services to the company. We think of that as edge computing. And a couple of the cloud services we have apply directly. Obviously, we can put anything into your factory, into your hospitals, into your remote locations, and manage it from one place, and manage it on behalf of you. For any of the edge applications, those are often a little bit custom in terms of what we do. But for employees, very, very strong VDI offering that helps employees work from wherever they are in a trusted way on any device, even untrusted devices. Delivering digital experiences, getting that cloud operational experience, much of what we talked about applies. So this is a cloud experience delivered in your locations, compute, storage, networking, hyper-converged, all the way up to VM container platforms and specific workloads like SAP, machine learning, healthcare records, healthcare maintenance, and payment processing for the financial or retail industries, customer engagement. There's quite a bit we can do just to bring that cloud experience to your key workloads. And when we look at data, there's a really good story there in terms of how we store, variety of storage options, how we protect that data, all in a cloud service. And then we can take that into how we share with our data fabric service and unify different data sources, whether it's objects, files, videos, unify them together and present those to either an application or to an analytics platform for machine learning or for analytics with Spark or Splunk or something like that, and where you can even apply high performance computing to the task. So a great story, bottom to top, for analyzing, gaining insights from your data. Depending on who you are, you're going to see this a little differently. And we find that each of these roles, depending on which role you are, you might identify with one or the other, gains value from HPE GreenLake. For a line of business exec who really just wants something to work, that's what we do. For your CIO to get a platform on which they can innovate and do things that we didn't used to try before, fail fast, start over, succeed wildly, and run a great business model. That's exactly what HPE GreenLake delivers you. Data scientists, CFOs, CTOs, and IT directors all find value in the way they do their work, helped by HPE GreenLake services. And a couple of customer examples, I won't go through them all, but Kern County is an interesting one. In Bakersfield, California, where they found that they had turned over to HPE GreenLake much of their different operations just to get a consolidated a pool of infrastructure and software so that they could allocate resources effectively. And then the pandemic happened, and all their workers didn't come to the office anymore, so they had to pivot really quickly with that flexibility that GreenLake offers to move to a VDI implementation for those remote workers. And they could allocate resources quickly, get more resources as they needed, and it really didn't interrupt operations at all. It was a great success story. Another example, Salling Group, in the largest retail organization in Denmark, has implemented their SAP implementation with HPE GreenLake, and they find that they can distribute the SAP processing, they can make moves, add changes quickly, but they get a very predictable response and performance experience out of it, managed exactly the way that they need for that critical SAP infrastructure. So HPE GreenLake, we've been here for a while. We've got 12 years of experience doing this. 6.3 billion. I think it's higher than that now. We'll have our second quarter earnings 1st of June, so you may have heard a bigger number. In total contract value booked, around 1,400 enterprise customers, 50 countries. We have 900 plus solution providers out selling HPE GreenLake and doing it profitably. But the best number on this slide is the 96% customer retention number. What that tells us is customers are with us 3 to 5 years, and they renew, and they keep going. We've had customers for 10 or 12 years, and that speaks to the value and the customer satisfaction, the great experience that our customers are getting. So that's something we're really proud of. So what should you do? Best thing is to go to hpe.com/greenlake and find out more information. And from there, you can go into test some of our offerings that are available for test drive on the online. But connect with your HPE team and you can assess and define exactly what your right mix of clouds should be. What should be in the cloud, what should be on premises in HPE GreenLake, and then we can go ahead and implement it. And if you go to the website, you'll find many demos which get into a little more detail about how it actually works, how you go from screen to screen, and you can serve yourself in many cases to your own IT needs through HPE GreenLake. The other thing we have is online from Forrester.com, or from Forrester Consulting, is an ROI estimator tool. So you can get there from the HPE GreenLake site and plug in your own numbers and see if this will make sense for you financially. So thanks. That's a quick run through for HPE GreenLake. I hope it was good time well spent. We'd be happy to talk to you more and look forward to it. Thanks so much.